recorded.
Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to Aimless Babble Z. I'm Ticketmaster, joined. Oh, episode 240, by the way. I'm Ticketmaster, joined by.
Traptical.
So yeah, we got some what you've been playing. Steam Cell is in high gear. I fell off all the wagons in all the worlds, and some news. But I just remembered that the news is the third thing, and there might not even be any. Who knows? Whatever. So yeah, Traptical. Do you want to go first on what you've been playing, or do you want me to go first?
What's the second thing then?
Second thing is Steam Cell.
Oh, okay.
Craziness.
Yeah. In that case, we're gonna avoid the Steam sale now.
We can talk about Steam Cell. Well, I was just gonna say we're gonna talk about or we can just do it both at the same time. What you've been playing and Steam Cell and the news.
All right.
It'll just be at the end somewhere.
Mismatch. Mishmatch. Anyway, that thing. Yeah, I'll go. First thing, Origin has been turning up the features to compete with Steam. First, they started with On the House, which was the free game at seemingly random intervals. And then this past weekend, they did something called Game Time, which is basically Steam's free weekends. So they gave out free 48 hours of Titanfall. But it was sort of different in that not everyone's 48 hour was at the same time. So whenever it was that you downloaded Titanfall and started playing it, that's when the timer would start running. And then you had 48 hours to just play, and it's like the full game. And just play however much you want. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try to run it on my laptop, my gaming laptop, and see if it can handle it. And it handled it quite well. Didn't crash as much as Batman Arkham Origins does, so I think that's just an issue between my laptop and Arkham Origins. But Titanfall seemed to run just fine. I played through one side of the campaign and unlocked one new Titan. Yeah, actually, I understand what everyone says, where you can't really follow the story while playing the campaign because so much stuff is going on. Namely, just the game that you're playing, because it's Call of Duty speed, so it's very fast and things are happening all the time. And occasionally, it was weird. It's just like out of the side of my consciousness, I would hear people like, "Oh, okay, I can kind of understand what's going on in the story."
Wow.
But,
so it's kind of like background music when you're driving. It's just background noise.
Pretty much, yeah. Sometimes you'll hear something on the radio where it's like, "Oh, that my interest is piqued for that moment." But for the most part, it's just music playing and you're just driving along, and that's it.
Wow.
Basically what Titanfall was. Playing it felt exactly the same as playing the multiplayer, except that they were saying a bit more stuff along with we need to capture B, we need to capture C, we need to capture A, and then they'd say something like, yeah, C has fallen and like the turrets have stopped firing, so you need to go capture that one again. So instead of just the randomly, hey, capture that thing, like, why? Because I said so. It was more like, because bad things will happen if we don't, or good things won't happen if we don't. And yeah, like there's little cutscenes playing up in the corner, but I don't remember seeing any of them. I saw one. It's like, oh, that's from that E3 presentation. It's like, yeah, that guy. Like, oh, he's on that side. I had no idea. I still have no idea who any of the people are.
Wow, that's crazy.
All I know is, I guess the story is in the end the robots take over. The generals are like, no, the robots are gonna take over if we let them take over, so I'm leaving. And then the robots took over. Yeah. And then the game says, oh, there's two sides to both stories, so play the other side. Yeah. The game is still fun, but and the story was actually okay. It's just like it's not a very meaty story. It's just sort of a very small slice of what is probably a larger issue. It's like if you took the story from one campaign mission in StarCraft, and that's that's basically the entire story that I played. So, um, I'm not sure what the player population is like usually. It seemed like there was a lot of people playing through game time. I mean, it was free, so why not? And I'm pretty sure most everyone I played with was on game time because I was doing super well, and it just seemed unlikely. It's like, huh, this game is kind of older now, so shouldn't there be a lot of people who are really good at it? And there just wasn't. Like, no one. I was the only one jumping onto Titans as a pilot. So enemy Titans would be coming, and I would just cloak and then run up and jump on back, and then just kill them from the inside. And I killed a ton, like way more Titans than in the beta. Playing through the campaign, I was like, huh, that is so weird. It was very easy. Either I've gotten better at it by not playing it, which is generally the case for me. Or yeah, everyone is just really bad. They're not looking for me. It's like, oh, now there's someone on my back. What should I do? It's like, well, I'm fighting this other Titan over here. I'm gonna stay inside, and usually that didn't turn out well for them. But yeah, pretty fun. Still waiting for it to be super cheap or a sequel. Hopefully, a sequel will have a traditional single player because I think it could be really cool. Some of the stuff is like, this could be a really cool story. Blacklight Retribution, the free-to-play PS4 game, just came out of beta yesterday. So I started playing that again, and it seems significantly improved. I shared a video on Facebook maybe a month ago, and it was just guys teleporting all over the place in the map. You couldn't tell where anyone was. I was tracking a guy moving from left to right, and suddenly he disappeared. And I'm sure all of my teammates saw him too, because everyone started firing, and then he was just gone. And then you just watch all the characters looking, and you're like, where is he? What happened? Was he even there? It was very strange. And then a guy levitated out of a hole and killed me at the end of that video. So yeah, it had a lot of issues. Which also included in the co-op mode, Onslaught, it was basically impossible. Too many enemies came out at you. You got damaged really, really easily. I don't think we ever made it past the first wave in the beta. They just mobbed us and everyone was dead. It's like, man, this is not fun. And it takes so long to regame. But now, out of beta, it seems a lot better. I didn't notice any of those types of glitches today. The microtransaction thing is sort of... I think since I haven't played it that much, it's easy to just look at it and say, oh, this is pay to win. Because a lot of, even the armor customizations, you look at them and you think, oh, these are just different skins, they're cosmetic. But actually, they give you different stat bonuses. So some of them have more armor, or some of them make you lighter and faster. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out. And then the other thing is you can't... Well, I guess it's clever on their part for making money. So essentially, most everything that can give you a stat bonus, you can buy with in-game credits. But most of those things you can only buy for a set period of time. So they're consumables. Even the armor, like, I was looking at this armor, it's like, oh, I want a lot more health, but I'll be slower. It's like, that's okay. I don't really run around in these games. But I looked at it as like, oh, it's pretty cheap. I can use the in-game currency and buy it. And I looked, and it said, oh, that's the amount for 1 day. And I thought, wait, really? And then you can also buy it with real money for a day, or you can buy it with more real money for a permanent, just permanent addition to your armory. I was like, wow, so this is how they're going to get people to pay real money so that they can have things permanently? Turns out that's not the case. Apparently what they do is that occasionally they cycle through the different items in the inventory. where some days you'll be able to get things with in-game currency permanently, but it won't be available every day. So you got to look for the things that you're looking for, and I guess watch until they're ready for you to buy on a permanent basis. Or you can spend $5 and buy something called the Blacklight membership, I think, and that unlocks the permanent option for every item to be bought with in-game currency that you earn and not real money. And so there's a lot of things to buy. There's a ton of guns. Each of the guns have lots of different, I think it was like 7 parts that you can customize. So you can also buy those. And there's even it's like a little decoration thing that you hang on the side of the gun, and that changes the stats on it somehow. The only free one I saw was the Daylight tchotchke. I don't know. It's like a little keychain.
Pieces of flare.
Yeah, essentially, it's a little pin that you put on your gun, and it said, "Oh, it's not just decorative. It gives you stat bonuses." Okay, what are those? And I took it off and put it back on, and apparently the Daylight one decreases like your hip fire accuracy. Basically, it decreased everything that it affected. I was like, wait, this makes my gun worse? Like, why would I want this? Like, oh, because it's the free one. I guess it makes it look cooler. Yeah, it was weird, but yeah, the game itself, it's a lot more. I think it's a bit easier for me to understand now. I'd read that. What's his name? I don't know. The people that make Blacklight, they are huge shooter fans, and that's why they implemented things like the essentially everyone has wall hacks that are timed, and they're on a cooldown. And it means like you can't really wait at a doorway for someone to come through and then shoot them in the back, because they could be using their wall hack thing and they'll just know you're there. And so you're forced to be constantly on the move. And then as far as the shooting, it's really how is it? It's definitely not Call of Duty style. So you can't just pull the aim and then fire, because there is no it doesn't have that heavy aim assist feel that Call of Duty has, but it's not really as it doesn't have like the bullet drop from Battlefield. So it's sort of in between. If you can put the dot on your iron sights on a guy's head and fire, you will get a headshot. So it feels very, very dependent on your skill, and you can't really run in and the kill cams you often seen in Call of Duty is just like people sort of spraying around the guy and then he dies, or I die. This one feels very skill based compared to that, so that's pretty cool. Initially I just kept dying over and over again. I would be into straight one-on-one, firefights with a guy, and they'd kill me every time. I was like, oh, am I that bad? And then I started calming down a bit and actually aiming. It's like, oh, okay, this is not the lazy man shooter like Call of Duty. You have to try in this one. And then I started to do much better. So that's good. Yeah, Call of Duty gives you bad habits in shooters. It's like, I don't even need to aim, really. I'm just gonna look in that guy's direction, pull the trigger or pull the iron sight thing, and it's gonna 100% it's gonna aim and hit him in the face. Unfortunate. Whatever. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play around with this one more, especially since I learned that. So I didn't switch out my PS4 hard drive when I got it, which was a big mistake, because I am down to 10 gigs of space left.
Oh yeah, I saw your tweet when you had like no space left.
That was when I had 20. It turns out, even if you buy disc versions of the game, it doesn't help you anymore on the PS4.
Oh. Really?
I bought Wolfenstein on disc. Put it in the system, started playing it.
Oh, so it still installs the game data for faster loads and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man,
Wolfenstein is actually the biggest game on my hard drive. It's 52 gigs.
what?
It's just like that's that's bigger than a Blu-ray. Where did it come from?
That is crazy.
Yeah, like Metal Gear Ground Zeroes, which I downloaded. Like I think yeah, all of my download games are much smaller.
That is weird.
Even which one? Like Battlefield 4 is the biggest one that I don't have a disc for. That one is like 42, I think. And yeah, Wolfenstein just so, just listening to those numbers, like so I have I don't know, 10 games. Like that's pretty much full. And yeah, I wanted to play Transformers. I started I don't know what it was. It was a combination of seeing it in the store and saying, "Oh, this is preload available. It's the first game that you can preload." It's like, "Oh man, I want to see what that's like." It's like, "No, wait, that's crazy. $60 to see preloading, which is basically downloading, except you're doing it a few days before. I mean, that's not exciting to watch." And I went back and forth, and then I realized, oh, I have a rental store here. Not many people can say that anymore. So I decided to go out and see if they had it, and they had Transformers: Rise of the Darkspark. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna rent it, and I've heard that it's kind of short, so I should be able to finish it before I have to return it. Started playing it. The campaign.
Oh
it,
no.
it feels unambitious. So how the story ties into the original, it doesn't really tie into War for Cybertron. It has a very sort of Arkham Origins feel to it, where it's another developer. And when High Moon would talk about their Transformers games, like, oh yeah, you could feel that they love Transformers, and they made like Fall of Cybertron compared to War for Cybertron. It just felt very ambitious, and there were just amazing set piece
So
moments,
good.
and that
So good.
the last mission was just it was so good. And it's sort of the same. Arkham Asylum and Arkham City is like, man, Arkham City just upped everything. It's just so much more ambitious game than Arkham Asylum, and it was just crazy. And then you get Arkham Origins, and it's like, yeah, it's good enough. It feels like Arkham City, but it doesn't have that sequel feel. It feels like more instead of a leap. And I haven't finished the campaign yet, but so far, like, that's what Rise of the Darkspark feels like. It feels unambitious. It feels like more content for sadly, not Fall of Cybertron. It feels like more content for War for Cybertron. Um, what else is there to say about that one? Actually, I'm thinking of collecting footage from the two games and showing why the sort of original developer versions are better. Because, like, for example, in Batman, the thing that got me in Origins is that when you knock guys out, their character models aren't breathing anymore. Even though it says they're unconscious and alive, they're not moving. So it seems like they're dead. Whereas in both of Rocksteady's, like, those character models are still moving after you knock them out. And I thought, oh my gosh, look at the attention to detail. Just making, everything fits into the Batman mythos here. And Arkham Origins is like, well, obviously because nobody thought of that. I mean, who would think of that? That's an insane detail to put in there. It should be enough to just say he's unconscious, and people, they're irrelevant to the gameplay now. They're just gonna lie there for eternity. But when you see it in those first two games, it's like, oh my gosh, they did so much to make this feel right.
Yeah, that's something I think I read or heard from one of the previews I saw on Arkham Knight was like, when you hit the criminals with the Batmobile, they don't die. They just like get electrocuted or not electrocuted. They just get like shocked into their whatchamacallit. They're not.
Oh, just like with the guns. Or you mean running them over?
No, I mean like running them over. They just get incapacitated, so they're just like they're
Oh,
just like there, but they're like out of it.
huh. Well, yeah, I mean, that's how it should be. And that's the team that did the breathing non-combatants, so I would expect something like that. That's that. Looking forward to that again. Batman. Um, yeah, Transformers: Rise of the Darkspark. There's just parts. Like the cinematics are just very, very dull. It's talking heads essentially, and they make really weird gestures with their hands. Like Optimus Prime is standing there talking with his hands. Like that seems really strange. I don't think I've ever seen him do that before. And yeah, I guess Earth is a much more bland looking place versus Cybertron. So the Cybertron areas look pretty cool, but part of the game takes place in the movie universe, and it's just for some reason all of these are bombed out, abandoned. It's like Chernobyl with fountains. You're like, it looks so bad. And then the story takes place before Fall of Cybertron. I mean, I guess obviously it would have to. Yeah, it just
Oh, I can skip this one. Awesome.
yeah, it's not. I mean, I'm still gonna play through it because I want to. Plus, I rented it, so why not? But it just feels unambitious, and cutscenes are just. I mean, well, the intro to Optimus Prime in the first game is Bumblebee is driving down the road, and the camera's pulled up really close, and cinematics like, oh, it's a car chase, and then Optimus Prime comes and saves him, truck mode into robot mode, and just like cuts those guys up. It's like, oh, it looks so cool. So far, nothing like that in Rise of the Darkspark. It's just we drive up here, turned into robots, and now we're gonna plant our feet. Feet aren't gonna move, and we're just gonna talk with our hands. And it's like, oh, it looks so bad. Very sad. Oh well, what are you gonna do? They added the thing that Mass Effect had, where
Yeah, I
you
saw
have
gamer tweet about that.
the loot packs. So instead of, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to unlock. They give you the single player is tied to the co-op multiplayer, which is, I guess everyone calls it horde mode these days. And I think there's something like 40 different Transformers that you can unlock to play as in that mode. And I guess you just get them randomly in these packs, and they come with consumables.
I gotta
and
say,
weapons and characters.
I really hope other games do not take that mechanic because it is very rage-inducing if you don't get what you want, and it's just you have to go back to grinding and just ugh, man.
It's weird because I really like it in Battlefield 4. In Battlefield 4, when you get the battle packs, I'm like, oh, I love how. I guess because most of
Then
it
again,
doesn't.
I don't really play multiplayer modes anymore. So. Oh man. Oh man.
Because like every game in Battlefield 4 or every gun has, I don't know, 7 or 8 different sights. It's just like some of these are exactly the same, or mostly basically exactly the same. It's a glass-looking piece with a dot in the middle, and they have different dots. And I was like, well, whatever. As long as I have one, I'm okay. Anyway, last PS4 game I played was Resogun. They released a new patch for it, which was sort of surprising. I mean, I knew they were releasing their first paid DLC, but they released a free patch which added
Shipmaker, right?
yeah, Ship Creator, which is kind of cool. I mean, obviously you're going to get the knockoffs of lots of different things. I saw a whole bunch of X-Wings and TIE Fighters in there, but there's cool stuff like Gundams and the TARDIS from Doctor Who. There's just a ton of things, like anything you can imagine that's made out of pixels in 3D.
Yeah, like a Pixel Mario I saw.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Those are the easiest, I think, because they're 2D. Although, someone should make a 3D Pixel Mario. That'd be pretty neat. It feels weird though, because I played as one of the Gundam models. And it's a lot bigger than the ships that you can play as regularly. And so you just feel slower, which is scary. It feels like it's harder to dodge. But one of the, I guess I sort of like it. They reset the leaderboards, so all the leaderboards are new now, and everyone can play through them again. So I was in the top, I think top 200 in the U.S. on the first day. Like, yay! I beat Gamer. Hi, Gamer. Yeah, no, I looked and I was like, oh, his score is only, I think it was around 2 million or something. I was like, oh, I can beat that. And in the first level, I got 6 million. To be fair, in the trophy competition, he is now 6 percentage points ahead of me at 68%, and I'm only at 62%. I fell behind, and I can't speak to why exactly, but he has way more than I do in Watch Dogs and way more than I do in several other games. But I am ahead in Entwined and I guess Resogun also. But yeah, the free update is really cool, so people should check that out. The DLC I also ended up getting, and I've only played once of each new mode. One is Survival, where when you save the people, you don't have to bring them to like a rescue point. So you just catch them and then they're saved. And you're just supposed to live as long as possible. And there's like a day and night cycle. I did not make it through the first night, so I'm not really sure what else is in that mode. The other mode is something called Demolition. And all you have is sort of this pulse that like blasts out in every direction from your ship. And you're supposed to, it's kind of like Breakout, I guess, except around a cylinder. There's a ball that you can pulse away, and then it flies around the cylinder and hits stuff. And beyond the pulse you have and the ball, you don't have any other weapons. So it's mostly dodging and looking for power-ups and just, yeah, don't die. Let's see. How long did I survive in that one? Maybe a minute? 2 minutes?
Wow.
So those modes are pretty tough. I'm looking forward to seeing what else is in them. All right. So onto Steam. Steam sale. I started to feel it. It's like that. And I guess it was last year that they introduced trading cards, right?
Yeah.
That was the time when I got crazy and was just like, oh, I must have them. I want to craft badges. So I have all these games with trading cards, and I started. I guess this year they're not really highlighting any new features like that. Although I noticed a lot of games were early access games, and I did sign into the Secret Ponchos one because I wanted to see that game, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people playing that currently, so it's hard to get a game started, and I think it requires 4 people to start. But nope. In comparison to Tekken, as you'll see, I have been pretty controlled. Pretty controlled. Just looking at the Steam Adventure thing, is like, I'm never gonna be able to get any of this stuff, so I'm not gonna try too hard. In fact, I should go play the Steam games that I have already. So I happen to have Papers, Please installed on the laptop, and I just started playing around with it. It is, if you don't know what it is, it's the guy at customs at the airport. You play that guy, except it's not the US, it's a more oppressive company or country. Or maybe not. It's actually probably satire. And yeah, I think it just gets more and more complicated as more and more rules are incorporated. So, for example, the first level is just like, oh, only citizens of our country are allowed to enter. So they give you guys walk up, you look at their passports, and if they're from your country, then you can stamp it as accepted, and if it's not from your country, then you decline them. If and then that's day one, and at the end of the day, it tells you, oh, this is how much money you made, but this is how much you need to spend on rent and food and heat. And so this is how much you were able to save from the
Yeah,
day.
it gets
And
like
it's just
super
like,
dark because it's like,
yeah,
this is your job, and then you find out like you're doing this in order to survive and support your family, and so it's basically turning you against like doing your job to like do these things or not do all these things to be, you have to like be all like not harassing these people, but doing what you're doing to these people to like papers please, and then just like scrutinizing every inch of like every document, but it's all to
yeah.
like do for
Like I didn't learn that till later, where if you start making mistakes, they start like docking your pay.
And I didn't
And
even get that
so-
far in the game, and like I got the worst ending. I was like, oh, well, that was depressing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Already?
No, I mean, I played it. It's funny because like I played it, and like when I played it the first time, I had my fraps on, so I was like, I have like my recording of me playing the first time, but I like didn't know what I was doing. It was just like I was like trying to like
Oh.
look through everything, and like the interface is just like was not very. I just did not find it very intuitive. So I was just like. It was very hard for me to play the first time, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And like, what do I click? I was like, and just I did very terrible the first time, so I haven't really gotten back to it. But yeah, it's an interesting game.
See, okay, so you remember what the interface is like, right?
Yeah.
I've been playing it with just the touchpad on my laptop, and it is well. First,
I'm
if you ever
sorry.
used a touchpad, it is
I'm
really
sorry.
hard to drag things. It's like I have to click with one hand and then drag across with the other hand, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Basically, it's always very slow, and then sometimes it doesn't work. And the game has it where there's a rule book and like documents, and you have to drag them over to your, I guess, your desk, and then that's where you can actually look at them. And then in order to stamp it, it's not, you don't pick up a stamp. You have to pull a stamp thing out from the side and then align the passport in the right position and then push the right stamp. It's just like this, man, I process maybe 5-6 people a day. It's pretty interesting though. I haven't decided. I guess there was sort of a vicarious fun. It's like, haha, I am on this side of the table now. And there's sort of various story elements. Like there's a guy who comes with a obviously fake passport. I thought that was pretty funny. Crazies, but then there's also very serious things like people jumping the fence and then blowing up or getting shot or something. And yeah, like I think it's just gonna get more and more complicated, and there's more and more rules that you have to, or rules thrown into the game, and then in the context of the game, it's more and more, I guess, advanced forgeries and stuff. Sometimes it's like, oh, it doesn't, this person is not female, but it says female, or now they need, additional documents. And like, oh, and then there's like a whole section of the rule book that shows you what each country's
Yeah,
passport
like where on the
looks
map
like.
they are and
Yeah.
what region they're from.
I started looking at that. I was like, how am I going to remember all of
I
this?
know, it's like
And-
I had to keep referring back to that, and I was just like, you know what? F this game. It's like from what it was. Okay, it's like I could see where they're going, but like just from like the little taste I had, I was like, okay, that's good enough for me. I see what you're trying to do here, but not enjoying myself. So yeah.
Wait, so I guess they're trying to show, it's like satire, right?
Yeah.
About
Just being a person at the
like
border
profiling
crossing.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But well, yeah, I guess I'll get to it. Because so far it's just like, oh, I can just say no. And if I say no to everyone, then are there citations for sending away the wrong people?
I think there are.
Are there? Okay, I haven't seen any of those. I've only
I
let through the wrong.
I might have tried just denying everybody tropical. I've never done that before. I think what I did was I was letting too many people that were not supposed to get through, and then I was like, yeah, that messed me up. But
yeah,
I don't think
that
I
starts to
denied
mess you
everybody.
up.
So I'll have to try that.
But yeah, denying people. Well, and I'm not even sure how the pay works. Like, do you get more pay if you process more people?
Probably.
Well, yeah, I have not died or whatever yet. I have not reached game over in Papers, Please yet. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm starting to see that, oh man, if they're gonna make me memorize these passport like covers and colors, it's gonna be rough. The other game I played on Steam was something called Little Inferno, which I had heard a bit about. People had made it out to be, well, on the Xbox Indie Games channel, there used to be a lot of sort of cash grabs, and one of the ones that's pretty easy to make is a virtual fireplace. So it's just video of someone's fireplace, and you just loop it endlessly, and yay, you've made something on Indie Games channel. And so I had heard that Little Inferno was that, but with a story. I don't know if that's accurate. It actually, there is a game in the game. It's I guess it's a riddle game. So basically how the game works is that there is a fireplace in front of you, and anywhere you click in it, you can start a fire. And so, well, if there's nothing in there, then nothing's going to burn, and it'll just, there'll be a little flame where your cursor is. But you can buy things. So they'll give you a catalog, and you can buy things from the catalog. They're sent to your home, and then you can put them in the fireplace and then set them on fire. And, that's the whole mechanic of the game. But the thing is, in order to unlock new catalogs, you need to find specific combinations of things to burn together. And the only hints that you have, at least as far as I've seen, is the name of the combination. So, for example, there was one I did today. It was just the Easter Bunny combo. And so I went into the catalogs and found, oh, there's a bunny plushie here and some eggs over here. And so you put both of those things into the fireplace and then burn them, then you earn a star for getting that combo. And the more combos that you get, the more catalogs you can buy, and the more catalogs you have, the wider selections of things that you can buy to burn. And you get money by burning things, and so you buy things to burn. So you pay money to buy things to burn to give you more money. And every item that you burn gives you more money than you spent on it. And so that brings us to the story. There are people who write letters to you, or basically one person specifically writes letters to you and tells you, let's see, how do I put it? It's not really telling you anything. It feels like it's kind of a mystery. You're not really sure. There is something afoot in the world of Little Inferno. And I'm not really sure what it is. So, at one point, you get this, I guess it's an ad from the Tomorrow Corporation, which is the company that sells Little Inferno. And yeah, in the game, Little Inferno refers to the fireplace. So the Little Inferno, what's it called? The Little Inferno Entertainment Fireplace or something like that is what you're playing with. And then the commercial that you get shows kids, and they're like, oh, we're bored or something. And the commercial is like, oh, well, you can burn all your old toys. And then it's just the kids burning their toys and staying by their fireplace. And it's just like, something is off about it. And I don't want to say too much more, fear of spoiling it in case it's one of those types of things, but yeah, there is more to Little Inferno than I thought when people just told me, oh, it's an interactive fireplace. So I'm enjoying it. It's actually pretty cool. There is that sort of thrill of burning things. And the things, they don't behave exactly as you would think they would. For example, like if you throw corn on the cob in a fireplace, yeah, some of that corn is going to pop off into popcorn. But if you throw, it's like it looks like a wooden doll thing. If you throw a wooden doll into a fireplace, it's not going to suddenly get up and start dancing around. But that's what happens in Little Inferno.
Okay.
And there's things like, oh, a mini nuke. You can put a mini nuke into the fireplace, and it will explode after being burned a little while. Hmm. It's kind of strange, but kind of neat. So I'm working my way through that one, trying to unlock all the catalogs to unlock all the combos, which progresses the story. Anything else? I think that's it. That's all I've been playing.
All right. For me on handhelds, so Chrono Cross. I continued playing it. Still don't know what exactly I'm doing. 'Cause there's no real like tutorial of like, hey, this is this is that, blah 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 blah. So I just kept on trucking. But then I got to like a part where I couldn't get. Okay, I'm not like stuck on a. I'm stuck, but I'm not stuck on a door. I'm stuck on like some puzzle where I'm like at this thing that I need to spin in order to get through this door, but I don't know how many times I need to spin it. So I need to look up a guide. So in lieu of that, I was like, okay, well, Chrono Cross, I'll come back to Muramasa, see if I can get any farther. Couldn't get any farther Muramasa, and then I started playing Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics, the one of the best strategy RPG games of all time on Vita, just to see what it looked like, because I hadn't played any PS1 games yet on Vita. So I was like, oh yeah, it looks really good. Well, I guess Chrono Cross is PS1, whatever. So I played that. I was like, well, I need something to, like, I need a filler game to, like, get me through until I can swap out games or look up a guide. So played some of that. Haven't got too far. And that's basically all my handheld gaming since I'm still stuck on Chrono Cross. And I want to go back to Uncharted, but I keep forgetting to like hold up my Vita Delight, and I haven't started Tearaway, but whatever. Like I still need to go back to my Vita games. I'm taking a break to play Chrono Cross, palate cleanser. Then I'll go back to the awesomeness that is the Vita games. And then let's see. I played. Okay, so Gran Turismo 6 has been rolling out. It's pretty cool. They keep rolling out pretty steady stream of free content. So if you haven't been playing, you've been well, for whatever reason. I mean, like, maybe you
I've been missing
don't
out.
want to play it anymore. Maybe you didn't have enough credits. Because if you play the seasonal events and you just like get those, I mean, they give you pretty decent money. So, because I've basically been steady at the 20 million credits I have, so I haven't like gone like negative. I might have gone positive actually, but yeah, I've been like, they have that. They have like the Art and Cinna thing. They have the new Bull Ring or Red Bull Ring track and some events for that. Some vision cars, and they had like a seasonal event that was like A-spec stuff, not just straight up time trial or drift trial. Oh, that's the other thing. So the seasonal events. So like it has been for the longest time. It's just like time trials of like, okay, here's a track. See how fast you can go. Here's a car you can use, or here's the parameters of the cars that you can use. See how fast you can go. See if you can get like your ranking or silver, gold, bronze, and then like lately they've been giving you gold, or when you get gold you get like prizes, but it's just paint jobs for cars. But they added drift events, which essentially is just go through this track with this car, doing drifting, and I finally figured out how to drift after all these years in Gran Turismo of just like
Oh,
not caring about it and being like I suck at this. So I finally figured out how to get my cars to drift and not suck at it or be better, I guess. So that was interesting. I still think I'm terrible, but whatever, I'm better. So yeah, that, and they added what else did they add? Well, they didn't like really add anything. They just like they added events of like different types of before. It was just like here's a car you can use, here's the time you're trying to go for. Like they added like a certain type of car, like a European. It can be this many horsepower or within these parameters of performance points. So it's like getting more broad as far as like the events that they're giving us. And then they gave us this A-Specs challenge, which was pretty cool because it was like beginner, intermediate, and expert, and it was just 3 tracks, and you had cars to overtake, and you had to basically get first, second, or third, and that would determine if you got bronze, gold, or silver. So that's pretty cool. I got gold in all of them, so it's like, yeah, yes, I did it. Ha, I'm an expert at A-Spec, or at a, well, yeah, it's A-Spec mode, yeah, when you're racing, so yeah, A-Spec mode, yes.
did they release the content for, like, if you played the finale events on GT5?
I'm not sure if that is tropical.
Like in the last days of GT5 Online, there was an event that if you played in it, it said that you would unlock something in GT6.
Hmm. I do not believe so.
Hmm. Okay.
Is GT5 still online or do they take it offline?
Yeah, it's offline now.
Ah, Car says I was gonna go back and check.
So sad.
Because I can go back and check, huh? But and then yeah, they have like vision cars, which are basically concept cars, but they're not concept cars in like the traditional sense. It's more of like they go to the dealerships and they're like, okay, dudes, if you could have the purest form of this type of car, what would it be, and how would you make it? And then like they have people from actual like car manufacturers make those. It's pretty cool. Like they have the Mercedes one, they have the GTI or the Volkswagen GTI Golf just came out. The Mitsubishi's out, the BMW's out, and the Nissan one is finished, but it's not out yet. So those are coming out every however or whenever. And like if you do the little event thingies in the seasonal event and you get bronze or higher, you get them for free. So you don't even have to buy them. They're like a million credits or something crazy. It's ridiculous. So just do those and you get them for free. But yeah, the constant trickle of free content I'm enjoying.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Jumpman car, or like the cars coming from companies that don't make cars.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
And they had the Red Bull thing that's old, but yeah, like, just the constant free stuff coming, so it's pretty cool. I haven't had to pay for anything. I didn't buy season pass, so I definitely enjoy this to that model. So definitely enjoying all the free stuff that's constantly coming out for Gran Turismo 6. Besides that, Mass Effect 3. So, Mass Effect 3 is basically, I'm not going to say it's my bane of my existence right now. It is just very much a wall that is blocking me, the Great Wall of BioWare that is like blocking me from playing anything else right now because I'm just focusing on it like 100% right now. Because it's like, I want to play my PS4, I want to play all these games on Steam I just bought, but at the end of the day, it's like I don't have I don't have my best of the best banner, and I'm so close. I'm getting so close. It's like I'm finally getting to the point where I'm actually good in gold, and it's pretty cool when it's like I can just F my teammates and be like, I got this. And it's like, it's like sometimes that's the other thing. It's like kind of annoying. It's like since it's the summer now, I think there's a bunch of kids on Xbox Live. It happened to me last night. Someone joined our game, and okay, the thing is like it was just me and two other people, and we had like. We were like doing okay, but I was playing a class and I was like, okay, I don't know if I can do this by myself here. And then there's like some person that's like okay, but not as good as me in the game. I'm like, oh, this, and I ran out of Metagel, so I got down by against the Prime. And I'm like, oh, we might pull it out, And then it's like somehow like we randomly had someone join our game. There's only 3 of us, so like the 4th person joined, and then it's like it got down to like we were all dead by this point, and like it's at the point where it's like. Heck, it says there's 1 enemy left, so it's like we'd killed everybody except for like 1, and then like the dude that was okay but not as good as me, like he went to revive the person that joined us, and because of that person, he died. So it's like it's all up to this new this person in the room that we don't even know who is, and I push my Xbox guide button looking at like his profile and whatever, and his like zone is set to family, and I'm like, what is the kid doing? I'm thinking it's good. I'm gonna assume it's good. They were terrible. They whatever, but like. It was like they almost choked and just like ruined the run that we had going. I hadn't lost a gold match yet. Like Fire-based Rio, I played that yesterday. Like 20 or 10, however many extractions I needed, like 10 straight, no, all extractions. I was like, yes, I'm finally getting gold. And then like this happens. I'm like, oh, it's gonna ruin my streak, and then I like hit my. So he's just running away from the get the Prime, like not knowing what to do because he kept like he died like a couple of times. I'm like, crap, he's running into Metagel. What do I do? And I hit my Xbox button, my guide button. I'm like, I must message him, and then like I was like well, I don't have a keyboard, but I'm like using the little virtual keyboard. I'm like, missiles, fire your missiles. And I send it to him because I was like, dude, like the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like having a breakdown. It's like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, something crazy, and like. This is happening. I'm like, this is not happening. This is not happening. Like, I'm having such a good run here. It's like, come on, because like for me when I'm playing, I'm thinking like, what would I do? And I'm like, dude, in this situation, you just switch to your missiles and blow them away. That's it. You're done. You've won. And it's like, oh, I was like, who is playing? Like they're just doing terrible right now. They're dying. It's like it's not gonna cry. I almost had a breakdown. And like Like I messaged this person, I was like, missiles, dude! Or I didn't put dude, but I was like, missiles! And then sent the message away, and they put out the missile launcher, blew them away. I was like, actually, that's not what happened. Like, they missed like a couple of times. I was like, oh my god, like, they missed 3 times. I was like, are they not, I was like, are they going to miss point blank this many times with the missile launcher? I was like, I'm covering my eyes now, I can't watch. It was just like, ugh, and then, luckily, they got the prime, and we lived to fight another day, and I was like, yes! But yeah, Mass Effect 3, man, playing on gold, you have those moments where it just gets so intense, and like that's why I hate gold. It's just the stakes are so high, and it's like if you fail, it's just like it was all for nothing, and it's just such a grind on gold. And it's just like it just feels like every wave. It's just like you think you've won, but it's like you don't hear the little thing where it's like, oh, wave completed, or you don't see the little thing pop up like wave complete. So it's just like, oh, it just feels so. I don't know the word, but the enemies just keep coming, and it's just like, oh, you feel like the dudes on the Doom cover, just like the 2 dudes on the mountain, and the demons are just like, and just like, it's like there's no relent. It's just relentless enemies all up on you, and like I've devised a new strategy now. Like when I play my Second 3 Gold, it's like I need palate cleanser, dude. Like I can just play that game like all day long on gold. That is just like, that literally does kill me. I think like my heart rate probably goes through the roof or something. But like after that. After my fun times with Mass Effect 3, oh man, that was yeah. But I probably went off topic. I don't care, whatever. But yeah, I'm still playing that goal. That's basically stopping me from playing anything else right now. And then one of the games I took a break to play while playing that was Borderlands 2, because Tiger Fox was on. I was like, oh, Tiger Fox is playing. Let me jump on that. So I jumped on that. Wow, that's a very small thumbnail. And man, I gotta say, I'm sorry, console players, because I played that and I was like, wow, on PC, this is amazing and beautiful and vibrant, and the colors and just, it is essentially like, you know, like I always say about Resident Evil 4 and Wii about the controls. It's like it's the same thing except for graphics on the PC version. It's like, dude, this is like the essential version to play. Like if you're not playing on PC, you're missing out, dude. And I kind of feel like, I don't know, I don't know, man. I feel kind of, I don't know what to do now. I feel like I'm gonna break down and like buy a bunch of games I already own on PC just to like play them on PC and like have this little. Well, but the thing that's the thing though, is like they're only $5, so it's like during the Steam sale, it's like there were games I did not need to buy, and then you know I'd been so good at like not double dipping and not triple dipping, and then it all came back. And then, yeah, I don't play with a mic gamer on 360 with randoms, F that crap, but, so, you know, Far Cry 3 is like $10, or it wasn't $10, it was less than $10, but the deluxe edition, which gets you DLC and stuff, that was $10. I was like, dude, $10, what's the harm? $10, bought it, haven't played it, which is kind of the theme for my life right now. And my Steam sale adventures I'm about to tell you about. So, you know, bought that. And then Borderlands 2, like I was talking to you, you know, I bought all the DLC because I was like, well, it's all super cheap, so herpa-derpa-derp, added that to my cart. And I was like, that's the thing, it's like, I can't just have the game and like not have all the content. I gotta have all the content. Like, you can't just have a cheese pizza, no toppings, that's boring. You gotta put everything on it, man. Delicioso. And then, you know, the Rage DLC, that I haven't played it yet because, you know, super backlog on PC. Don't Starve DLC, have it on PS4 for free with Plus, but I don't have the DLC, so that is like $4. I was like, yeah, sure, add that on. And that was day 1 of the Steam sale. I was like, you know, that's a pretty good strategy here. You know, just buying DLC for games I don't own, and like maybe if a game is cheap enough and I don't own it, you know, go ahead and add that too. Add it to the cart. And then the next day it happened, and you know, I think it kind of got me. I was like, you know what, I want to get some of these cards and these banners, and like I got sucked into it, and then like, you know, I saw Shadowrun. I was like, I have Shadowrun, but I don't have the DLC. Added all that, and then that was great. And then the thing they're doing was like, you know, flash sales twice a day, because it's like every 8 hours, or not 8 hours, but every 24 hours, whatever, something. I think the flash sales actually do change more often than the community sales and the daily deals, but whatever. So yeah, flash sales. Anyway, after that happened, I got the Payday 2 DLC I've not well, there's like one DLC that wasn't on sale, or was on sale, but it wasn't actually for the other ones. So I was like, the bank one, that one I didn't get, but the other ones were like $1. So I was like, it's $1, dude. Just buy it. It's $1. It's like, got that one. And then, Grid 2, all the cars and crap like that. Sure, why not? Why wouldn't I get it? It's like less than $10. Like, this is like beyond Shoji Gundam logic of like, dude, it's less than 20. Hell, it's less than 10. Buy it. It's like, like I just stopped thinking at this point. I'm just like, dude, buy it. It just snowballs. And then I'm like, Skyrim. I don't like Bethesda games, but the Legendary Edition with all the DLC, everyone says it's awesome, and I know it's not my wheelhouse, and I probably won't like it, but it's only $13.59. I can't say no to that. So at that price, I'm sold, and that was day 2. So that's just 2 days of the Steam sale. Should I keep going? Sure, because day 3, I'm like, I don't need to buy no games. I'm just buying DLC, even though I bought a couple of games. Like, a few. Day 3, Fable Lost Chapters at $2. That was like, that pushed me over the edge, man. I was like, $2. That's almost free. Free. And then we have Metal Gear Rising, which, I didn't even care about that game. I was like, I'm not going to play that. It's right. And it's not canon to the Metal Gear Solid awesomeness of Solid Snake. It was $15, and it comes with the DLC. Like, I don't have to buy the DLC. It's just added in for free. So, boom. And then we got Metro Last Light, which I was going to get it for the PS4 because it's like super awesome, whatever edition for $50. Guess how much this was? $6.79. That's less than $10, which means it's in the buy territory, which means I bought it. Haha. Haven't played it though. Probably won't play it for years, but hey, who cares, right? It's on sale on Steam. Who cares? Just pinching those pennies. One of these days, I will enjoy that game, and I'm sure it'll be an awesome day. It won't be today, tomorrow, or anytime this year, but Darksiders 2, I'm coming for you. Believe it. I mean, wow, I meant to say, well, moving on the next day, because I picked up Darksiders 2 the next day. It wasn't Metro Last Light, but yeah, it was $6, dude. That's less than 10, so I bought it. And then, Magica, all the DLC for that, because I already had it, but I was like, I'm in the DLC, boom, added to the cart. And then, less for $20, I got all the Saints Row game in the world, except for the first one, because it was just like 2 and 3 and 4, and all the DLC for them, so I was like, how am I not going to buy that? How am I not going to buy that? That's an insane deal. Less than $20, I get all the DLC and the games, and like, dude, Saints Row, it's like, yeah, it's no GTA, but no GTA, but that price, how can you say no? And I couldn't say no, so I bought it. So that was day 4, 5, whatever, doesn't matter. I just yeah. Tekken was a very bad boy this Steam sale, and all my progress I made this year, 6 months free, 6 months free, 6 months free. Just got in the plane, went into a ditch, or I'm sorry, got in the car, into a ditch. If it was a plane, it would have flown into the ground because only places you're going on the Steam sale, you're going to drive it into the ground or into a ditch or off the edge of a cliff, and it's just not going to be beautiful. And yeah, so yeah, and Just Cause 2 DLC, got that because I didn't need the DLC, but I got the game and I wanted the DLC, and it's super cheap. It's like $1.39, man. That's less than $2. That's almost free. So, and then, Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform, $5. Gamer says it's awesome. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll take Gamer's word for it. And, I don't have a Wii U to play Mario Kart on, so I'm kind of jelly right now. So this will feel my fix, even though I won't play this game for months, if years. Who knows? And some DLC for that, too. Guacamelee, I enjoyed that game very much, and it was $4. So I was like, why not? Gold Edition, sold. And the soundtrack, thanks, I'll take that, too. And then for the community sale, I was like, oh, that's a whole other thing, dude. The community sales, okay. So it's like every day there's like a community deal, you can vote on it with everybody else, and like it's whoever wins. So it's like, it's a community vote. And I had been getting outvoted like, I'd say 1 in every 5. Because I think I'm like 2 for 10 or like 3 for 13 right now. It doesn't matter. Like I keep voting for something I want to buy, and like I keep losing. I'm like, what the F? Like, come on, community. Like, why am I always in the minority? I'm always in the minority. It's like, I like old games. I like nothing I like is popular strategy RPGs. It's like, yeah, I just can't get my way. It's like, why do I have to like live on the fringes of society? And like, yeah, but then somehow beyond my belief, the click and point stuff won. I was like, yay, Siberia Collection, yay, Kentucky Route Zero. So, boom, those are in there, yeah. And then Call of Juarez Gunslinger, because Gamer said he liked it, and I was like, oh, well, Gamer, I trust Gamer, so yeah. And then Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, so I was like, well, I already got Far Cry 3, but I need Blood Dragon, because, just like that, I need to see how much more awesome is it on PC, see. A side note about Ubisoft games, it's like, dude, what the f, man? Like, why can't we get like Steamworks integration? Thanks for fragmenting my digital library, Ubisoft, and ruining my Steam achievements and Steam cards, and can't get any of it on Steam. So yeah. And then it's hilarious because next thing I bought was the Killing Floor bundle, which I didn't really need to buy because I had the game. I didn't have the DLC. I wanted the DLCs. But I was like, well, the bundle's kind of pricey. I don't really know how to play this game, and I loaded up the game just to play it, just to be like, oh, can I figure out how to get this to work so I can buy the DLC? And I did. So if I were to go ahead and play it with the DLC, I can be like, yay, I got the DLC. Oh man, oh man. And then later on that day, the Worms Reloaded DLC, Spiral Knights DLC, some more Payday 1 DLC, Xenoclash 2 for $5, even though like pretty crappy Metacritic score. But I was like, dude, whatever, it's like $5, man. Like, come on, how can you say no to that? You can't, and I bought it. So Tegan just couldn't say no there in the Steam Soul. He just couldn't say no. Couldn't say no. And then today, at 1:58 in the afternoon, picked up some, okay, so, the female protagonist category in the community cell was on, and I was like, dude, let's do it. And then I voted for it, not expecting it to win, but it did, and because of that, I felt obligated to buy the games that I did not already own, which were They Bleed Pixels and Gianna Sisters. Actually, it was the bundle for Gianna Sisters, because I was like, oh, there's another game? Sure, why not? It's like, I can't play the second one and not know what happened in the first one, even though I'll never play this game for years. Who cares? Whatever, man. And the Banner Saga. At that game, I wanted to play for, like, ever, and I was like, haha, Steam Cell, rubbing my hands together, like, yes, this is my chance. And then, some Bioshock Infinite DLC, even though I didn't like the game. But hey, I'll make it easier to play through when I played on PC, because I get some coins and stuff. So, yeah. And then I ended up picking up, because I couldn't get... Okay, it's a funny story about Grid. So Grid, I wanted to get the PC version because I wanted to pre-order it on Steam and then have it count towards my Steam sale, but I forgot it was on sale because I fell into madness. So then when it was on sale for normal price, I was like, oh no, and then they didn't have the DLC listed in the store except for like a $50 DLC, and I was like, what? I'm not paying $100 for that. So I was like, what? F that. So then I asked on the forums, I was like, okay dudes, can I get this game anywhere else? Type. And then apparently I could get it from Green Man Gaming, and on Green Man Gaming I had a $12 credit, so I didn't have to pay $50, I had to pay $37, which is cheaper than PS3 version, and it'll probably look better than PS3 version. So it's like, I feel kind of gamer snobbish now, lifting my nose at the PS3 that was like, I've loved it all these years. I'm like, sorry, I've moved on with my new video card, dude. I got Shadowplay. What you got? Oh, you got sub 1080p. We're done. It's like, I feel terrible, but that's really the situation. And yeah, Steam Cell. I'll most likely be getting at least one thing every day, just because I kind of feel like I'm in it to win it this time with the badge system, and I got level 2 already, so level 3, let's do it, and let's max it out, and then because of my madness that I've fallen into, next time I'm just gonna buy the cards. I'm gonna be like, you know what? Last time this happened, the wheels fell off pretty fast and hard. I think I'm just gonna buy the cards, circumvent this whole craziness of buying games to get cards, and be more happier and have more money to buy my PS4 games that they're not gonna be out there because everything comes out in 2015. So maybe I won't do that. Who knows? But hey, Steam Soul, man, all those games for like less than $100. So that's like 2 full price games on console, and that's way more than 2 games. And I may never play them for who knows when, but who cares? Who cares? The deals I got, priceless, even though they cost money. So, yeah. And that's my Steam Soul adventure. And I've yet to play any of those games I bought, but I did download Grid before we podcasted, so after we're done I might go into it and check it out a bit, but Borderlands 2 DLC, yeah! Woo! I gotta play with Tiger Fox, so yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, because I set my Steam to default to activity. So every day I turn on Steam, it brings me to what my friends have been doing. And every day I would see Tekken owns 17 more games. Tekken owns 15 more games. And I was just like, I don't know, whatever.
Why didn't you try to stop me, Go? This is all everybody else's fault. They should have said something. You're all just enabling me to be this way. I don't have a problem. I can stop anytime. 6 months! I was good for 6 months! I held on. No one could take that away from me. Nobody. No matter how much I spend on the Steam sale, nobody can take that away from me.
Oh man.
Gamer says it was pent up Tekken.
Yeah. They've shown willpower is not infinite, and Tekken lasting 6 months, that is an achievement. But it also means he was very susceptible to the Steam sale, which just happened to happen right after the dam broke with the PS4, and it's just like, well.
Though I think I did say, at the outstart, maybe I did whatever. I can just add it in later to the moratorium asterisk, not counting Steam sales. There you go. Boom. So, those 100 spent, or 100 spent. Ugh, looking at my bank account, it was kind of depressing. I was like, dude, take it and stop. And I was like, no, I'm not stopping. these prizes, they're only coming around like twice like a couple times a year, dude. So you stop. I'm not stopping. I'm in control. I was indoctrinated at that point. I was just like, you know what? No, I'm going all the way, man, this time. But now that I've done this, I have a plan to stop the bleeding. I'll just buy DLC next time, and then I have so many games at this point. It's like, what can be on sale that I don't own? Seriously. What I think what sparked it was like I saw Dead Rising 3 and I was like, dude, I gotta get this. I gotta see if my PC can run it. But it doesn't come out until August. I'm like, oh, I will not be able to hold on. And then from there, madness ensued. I was like looking at everything else. I was like, oh, this is on sale. Oh, that's on sale. And just add it to the cart. Click, 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 and purchase. And when you're saving up for PS4, it's like you got plenty of funds in the bank. So whatever, man.
It was weird because when I was looking at the Steam sale, most of the sale items that came up, I would think, oh, I already have that one, or oh, I'm just not interested in that one. And it was very few games where I saw it and I thought, I do want that, but I don't think I need it right now because, I mean, look at this library. It is 164 games long. I have played maybe 12 of them totally. So that's 150 games that I need to play through, and that always was able to stop me. Plus, that was very rare. Most of the games I saw on sale, like, oh, I have that one. Oh, I have that one. I have that one.
Yeah, it's funny. I found myself seeing some games. I was like, I kind of want to get this on PC now. I kind of want to get this on PC. I was like, Splinter Cell? I was like, I really like that game. Then I saw there's no Steam functionality. I was like, oh, no achievements, no cards. Yeah. But Far Cry 3, I love that game. So I was like, bye. It's like, I love me some Far Cry 3. So, same thing will probably happen with Far Cry. Well, my computer won't run Far Cry 4, never mind. So, in the far future, when I have my Steam box / Steam machine, see, that would have stopped all this madness. It's like, if I just had that, I'd been playing these PC games on my Steam box. But no, that was all like, we're delaying our controller. Yeah, whatever. It's all your fault, Game. I blame you. I blame you for this. You did this to me. Why?
Oh god.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's all that is really. Oh, so actually, there was a story that came out of the Steam sale. This year's Steam Adventure is basically everyone is randomly assigned to a team. And I think there's 6 different teams. And basically, crafting badges gets you points. And whichever team has the most points per day, I think it is, randomly 30 people from that team get 3 free games from their wish list. So it's pretty cool. Well, a story came out, like, everyone was noticing that the points were sort of weird. Like, one team generally would be way ahead of all the other teams every day, and it was never the same team. It was always a different team. And so people thought that Valve was rigging the game. It turns out Valve was not rigging the game, but someone was rigging it. It was the Steam subreddit on Reddit. They were basically, and I don't know how they were doing it, but they were working together in order to give each team a win for 2 days each in the
weird
sale.
Because Purple Team has not won yet. Or has Pink Team won? Purple Team has not won.
Right. So what happened though is Valve changed the rules of the game.
Ah,
So on the day that Purple was scheduled to win, Valve rolled out new rules that said, okay, so you're still getting the free games, but it's different now. So now there's a first, second, and third place. So first place team gets 30 people get 3 games. Second place team 20 people get 2 games, and the third place team 10 people get 1 game. And yeah, I guess it broke the incentive of the subreddit to maintain this schedule, and now it's just sort of a more of a free for all, and I guess more in the spirit of the competition as it was designed. But yeah, that was very interesting. I saw that like, how are they doing it? I mean, the only way you do it is by crafting badges, and that costs money. So, like, how free? Free games on Steam aren't really worth that much because they're so cheap so often.
that is true.
Yeah. So it was the interesting tidbit
Yeah,
that
you
I
can go
learned
like a
about the
year
Steam sale.
not having to buy. You can go years actually. I don't know when the last time is I bought a full price game on Steam.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever. Well, probably the orange box was the first one, and then I don't think anything else I bought was full price.
And usually, like, even if you do buy it on Steam, it's like a day one discount, or like you might get like a DLC for free, or like if you have the previous game, get a discount, or get like if it's the second game, the first game for half off or something crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe that will be fairer now.
Is there any news this week?
Mm, well, a little bit. We can wing it. PlayStation Plus for July has been announced. And reminders, this is the first month in which all of the free games that are coming to Instant Game Collection will be available starting on the first Tuesday of the month. And then the entire collection will be switched out again the first Tuesday of next month. So for July, so this is the second month in which it's 2 free games for every system. So if you have all 3, you're getting the most free games. For the PS4, we're getting Strider, which I hadn't picked up yet. So
I
happy.
did. Wah, wah, wah. You're welcome, Capcom bastards. That's what happens when you end your boycott. I was like, yeah, Ultra Street Fighter, I can be free again until they screw us over again. But then it's weird because like they're like, oh, we're gonna sell, or we're gonna be cool for to sell our share or our stock to like have someone take us over. Nobody's done it yet. I was like, what? It's been like over a week and nobody's bought Capcom. I was like, I'm pretty surprised by that. I'm just saying, I'm just out there, Maybe the internet can come together for a Kickstarter where we just all buy Capcom and or buy stock in Capcom and like own them and make them do our. Okay, that sounds terrible, but
That would be cool, actually.
I don't think they would mind working on games that they like and that we like too.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Strider is the first one, along with Towerfall Ascension is the other one on PS4. That is the local 4-player co-op competitive game that's sort of like Smash Brothers, except you shoot arrows at each other. It's fun. For PS3, Dead Space 3, and also a game called Vessel. On the Vita, you're getting Muramasa Rebirth.
Another one already own. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
It's part of his flash sale though, so it's cool. It was like $8.
What was the other one? Trying to think. Oh, it's Doki Doki Universe, which is that weird game that I said was sort of like Scribblenauts. You go around and you talk to people and you try to solve their problems, and you play as a robot who is learning what it is to be human or more human. I don't think they clarified if that one is cross-buy or not. Because last month with Sly Cooper, if you got the Vita version, you also got the PS3 version. So sometimes even more than 6 free games. This week marked the blow up over PlayStation Now beta pricing, in which they started putting monetary values on the games that you can rent in PlayStation Now. And I think this is public knowledge, so we could talk about it. Essentially, the rental times range from 4 hours to 90 days. And the prices range, man, so for 4 hours, I think the lowest ones besides the free ones, which there are some, it's $2.99. And 90 days, I think the highest ones were Saints Row for $30 for 90 days. And the internet has just been like, this is insane. I mean, who's going to pay $3 to play a game for 4 hours? And there's no way you can beat the game in 4 hours. And then 90 days for $30. A lot of those games, you can buy them for less than that, and then you can keep them for as long as you want.
And this is why they did not announce pricing at E3.
Well, apparently what this is, I mean, obviously it's still in beta, so they're testing pricing, and they announced previously that these prices were being set by the publishers themselves and not necessarily Sony. So it sort of bypasses the issue that Pachter was talking about, where it was all up to Sony to come up with a pricing in which that they could get a lot of people to subscribe to PlayStation Now, while at the same time giving enough kickback to the publishers who are providing the content. This way, it's sort of a group effort. Everyone sort of prices how they want, and then you sort of see what people will accept, and then you go from there. Personally, I think the 4-hour one is probably that's probably too high. I think it should probably be free. But the 90-day one, in some cases, I think $30 would be okay. But it would really... See, I think that's where the difficulty comes in, because...
That's a really long time period.
Yeah, but obviously you want to... I mean, if you're a content owner and you're putting content on PlayStation Now, obviously you want people to think, oh, that is desirable, I'm going to get that. So if you overprice on the high end, or on the low end, or on the high end, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're overpriced, you're not going to make any money because no one is going to buy it. And you can't depend on the people who are just ill-informed. So on the high end, I think it's going to be really hard, because as a content owner, I think you might have to constantly monitor what the going price is for your product, whatever your game is. Because if you're setting it significantly higher than what people can get it for, then you're not making any money. And so it's... which one? There was one that was crazy. Like, even on PlayStation, the store itself, it was a lower price than the rental price for 90 days.
I think it was Lightning Returns, or one of those.
The Lightning Returns?
Or Final... Or one of the Lightning
Or
games.
the 13...
Something with lightning in it.
Yeah. And then on the low end, that one, I guess, the difficulty with pricing is a lot of these services don't really exist. I mean, it's hard to rent games now. GameFly is basically the only thing I can think of. Blockbuster is basically gone. GameFly costs $15.99 a month. Regardless of how many games you rent, you can just, at that level, you can only have one game out at a time, though. So, if you wanted to rent Saints Row for 90 days through GameFly, it's going to cost $48, which is more than the $30. So they're beating GameFly.
And
but on the other hand,
Redbox $1 a day, so it'd be $90.
I think it's actually it's actually more on Redbox for games. I think it's like $2 or something per night.
In that case, it would have been $180.
So yeah, like compared to other rental services, it is cheaper. But the thing is, a person isn't going to rent Saints Row from Redbox for 90 days, because they would, like, how how bad at math would you have to be
Yeah, looking at the
to think,
model, it's like I think there should be some sort of like separate thing versus the running long term versus I just want to stream this for a bit or stream this for a long period of
mm.
time or something.
I think on the low end it should be free though. Just otherwise, I think a lot of games are just never going to be touched on PlayStation now. Because some games, if you've never heard of it, you're either going to think it's not that good and you're just not going to try it, or if you do want to try it, you'll think, well, I've never heard of it, so it's probably going to come down in price at some point, and then I'll just be able to buy it for cheaper than renting it for 4 hours.
That's a good point.
So yeah, I think on the low end there needs to be a free option for every single game where you can try it out and see, oh, is this going to be something I'm going to be interested in playing for a bit longer than whatever it is,
Well,
and
isn't
then
there the whole like for the game trials on Plus, isn't it like the first hour is free?
yeah, the full game trials I think where the first hour was free. So yeah, like something like that maybe would be great. Um, hmm. I'm not really sure. Like, what would the 4 hour period be for? Maybe like party games, I guess. If you're having people over and you don't want to buy a party game, but you want to have one,
I have no idea.
$3 for a party game, like, maybe. But yeah, so some of those pricings is just like nothing like this exists out there, so it's hard to say. Actually, I
Or
think
maybe they could
On
just like
Live did
cut
have
the
something
4 hour
like that.
tier and be like, you know what, you're just gonna have the first hour free.
The first hour free, and then do. Oh, I think the other tiers are 7 days, 30 days, and then 90 days.
Yeah, that's like, just like a weird time period is like 4 hours,
Yeah.
and like the charge for it at that.
Yep. But yeah, I think hopefully people aren't just going crazy and just saying, "Yes, I want to stream these things. Take my money." Because I think there's still a chance in the beta where we can say, "No, we do not accept this pricing. Go back, come up with another offer, and then we'll see if we're okay with that." If they're only listening to the internet, though, then surely they know that we're not okay with this pricing right now. So that's good. Hopefully it changes. Someone reported that 6 new games were added to the service today, and pricing hasn't changed on those. It seems to be pretty much the same so far. So we'll see how that goes. And then the subscription option, which they said that they were going to have, but no one has talked about that yet. I don't know if that exists yet. So I am still banking on something like that existing. That will be the real money winner. And it would be great if it would be sort of like, I guess, DLC for PlayStation Plus. So it's just like a little add-on that you can add to PlayStation Plus. A little bit more money gives you access to, I mean, I don't think it necessarily would have to be the whole PlayStation Now library. Even a subset of it, I think, would be pretty good value. There's a game that I found on there that I've been playing. It's like, oh man, if I can find this, I'm gonna buy this. It is a game I've never heard of, but it is very fun. Other news.
Speaking of
I
games
guess.
you never heard of,
Oh,
Steam still sort of highlighted to me the whole like problem with discoverability on games because like if you're just looking at the main page, you don't see all the stuff that like you could be seeing in like the other section of
yeah.
the store, where it's like the $5 section of like everything that's $5 or lower. It's like just actually like, and then after you look at those games, it just blows your mind that all these games are so cheap. It's just like holy crap, like all these games are like under $10 or under $5, and it's just. I just started adding stuff to my wish list. I'm like, I'm gonna save this for Winter Yourself because I'm going to go broke if I keep buying stuff. I need to stick to just the DLC.
Yeah, it's true. In fact, I think a lot more games are on sale than I thought. I thought it was just the
Yeah,
things on the
because
front
like
page.
yeah, that's the thing is like you only think it's just the stuff that's like on the front page, but it's like actually. But then it's like weird because like my emails aren't sending me stuff on my wish list that's on sale. It's like what the f is it not doing that for? So that's weird.
Mm.
So I ended up adding a bunch of stuff to get on the Winter Sale to get that banner or that badge when the time rolls around because that will be happening. Marvel Superheroes for $5. I might pick that up before the sale's in. I might not. We'll see.
How many badge levels are there for this badge?
I have no idea.
Do you know?
No
Oh,
idea.
okay.
Oh, also speaking of Steam Cell, new community choice is up, and the female protagonists with the story one. So Mass Effect, Gone Home, some Dragon Age, and Walking Dead Season 2. If you want to get that, check it out. Well, by the time you hear this, it might be over, but whatever.
Yeah, maybe. I guess. Oh, Platinum Games is working with Activision, and they're releasing a licensed game based on The Legend of Korra, which is the sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender. I haven't seen any footage or anything because I don't think they've released it, but that's exciting. A licensed game coming from Platinum. Platinum has made really good action games, so hopefully they will do that with this one as well. I'm excited. That's going to be a downloadable game coming out in the fall. PlayStation 3, 4, 360, Xbox One. And let's be safe and just say it's those. Speaking of corrections to news, No Man's Sky is not just the 4-man team. Initially, it was the 4-man team, but now there are more people working on it. Currently, there's 10 people at Hello Games. Still a very small team, but not as small as originally thought. The only other thing I saw, well, this just amuses me. Xbox One and GameStop have been doing a lot of partnerships recently, and I guess this weekend is going to be an Xbox One day, and they're just going to do a lot of pushing of Xbox One. It's basically GameStop's version of a sale in that things are for sale and not necessarily on sale. So I'm looking here, and it's like $3.99 for the Xbox One. Like, yep, that's a regular price. $29.99 for stereo headset adapter. Yep, regular price. I guess Wolfenstein will be on sale for $40. Controllers are $10 off. Xbox Live is $20 off when you buy a console, so not really. And yeah, it's pretty much what you expect from their deals. But it's interesting to see that and think, well, didn't they just do a price drop? Like, is it not doing as much as they need it to? So now they need to do marketing events.
After the Care Bear stare from Nintendo, I think people might be blinded to being like, I didn't care about shooters and guns and blood anymore. I want to go back to having fun.
It's all about Captain Toad.
Play and magical, cartoony, fun-loving, cute characters like Nintendo has. Zelda Bayonetta. Or a Link Bayonetta costume, yes. After finding my second secret stash, I might be able to, yeah. No. Continue, Tropical. Oh. Man, that would bring it down to what, 2 something? Oh my gosh. Less than 2 something? Tropical, continue before you keep thinking up stuff.
Actually, that's all the news I got. That's really all I saw. Like, the Steam sale really has been dominant this week. A lot of people just post, hey, here's what's on the Steam sale. You're reading this on the internet. You can't possibly know what's on Steam right now.
Oh, man. Steam. It's so good.
Yep.
Actually, it's cool because when I did the weekly deals video for PSN and Xbox Live this week, even though for some reason like the PS3 stuff was like not updated, when I did that, like a lot of stuff is cheap now on Xbox 360, so it looks like they're actually starting to compete with the PlayStation Plus on price and stuff and sales and whatever. There's like a Sega sale and something else I can't remember right now. So, but yeah, and I think I might pick up. It's weird because like I keep wanting to like play stuff and like wish it was on PS4, but Assassin's Creed Liberation on PS3. Even though I'm over it, but after the comments that were made about we can't make female characters, too many animations, blah blah blah, I was like, guess what? I'm gonna support you, female protagonist game, and yeah, I'll show you Ubisoft in your face. Kind of want to get that Freedom Cry DLC because it's standalone too, but I'm like, it's Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I'm off the train though. I don't know. It's like $10. It's only $10. Now I'm at the point where it's just like I look at something. It's like, oh, it's like, yeah. Just, if I see a certain number and if it's the number, and I'm like, oh, that's a number. That's the number I'm going for. Buy it. It's like, oh. Good thing I get paid next week because I'm spending a lot of money right now.
Depleted.
I didn't go that far,
I guess...
Tropical. I didn't spend it all. Jeez. I just went way. I just went. Okay, I'm not gonna say. Maybe I went way over budget. A bit over budget. Whatever. Over budget. It's cool. You know, it happens sometimes. You know. Yeah. Still can pay the bills and stuff.
I guess there was one last thing to mention. Google revealed that they're working with Razer to make a set-top game console. Not really any details.
It's really weird after seeing that. I was like, you know, it's getting extremely fragmented in the gaming space.
It is getting crazy. I mean, Ouya is the last... Ouya is almost last generation now, basically. It was the first of its kind, essentially. And there was a ton of other ones, which no one remembers the names of anymore. GameStick was one of those. Mojo, I think, was Mad Catz. And then we started getting the advanced ones like NVIDIA Shield, and then Amazon Fire something.
Yeah, but it's
Fire
like weird
TV.
because like
I don't know
look
what
at those
that's called.
games and I'm like, they just still don't appeal to me. I'm just like,
yeah, they're basically all the same games.
It's like we run Android games. I'm like, okay, are there any good ones? Because I'll be over here playing Grand Theft Auto 5 or Destiny or Watch Dogs. Or just start, you know, all these actual games or non-landfill games that are, you know, I need to have, Tropical, I need to come up with a name of like opposite of landfill. It's like so not dirty, but like it's not right now. It'll be a serendipitous, surreptitious thing. And so yeah, I'll be thinking about that.
All right. But yeah, no, it's true. There are a ton of these things coming out. PlayStation TV is going to be one of those things, although it will play PlayStation games, just older ones that were originally built for handhelds. And then they all do the multimedia stuff, so I don't know. There's nothing after that, so it's just... It is getting sort of crazy.
Yeah, after I saw the watch, I was like, it's gonna be weird and make me feel old when I can say, I miss the days when my watch just told time.
Back in my day!
Back in my day, all my watch did was light up and tell me what time it was. Now it's got all this fangled things and I can talk into it and GPS and MP3 and Netflix and streaming. Back in my day, we didn't have none of that. Just told you what time it was and that was that. If you're lucky, you had a stopwatch and countdown timer and a clock and a calendar and told you what day it was. Now it's all these newfangled smart watches. Oh, man.
Yeah. So that happened.
You just swipe your watch and then you just, that was weird. I was like, yeah. I don't know. It makes me feel old because I'm like, but I don't need my watch to do all that, or I don't need my TV to do all that. I just want to display stuff or know what time it is. I'm in the minority again. Oh, curses! It never ends. It never ends. Ah. If only I had my space bubble.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I have no idea where RPG is or when he'll be joining us again, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
his vacation days seem to be falling on days that we don't have vacation days on, so difficult to tell when he's going to be showing up again. Maybe the show will become all fragmented with Mirror Match and the food filler and all that.
Oh, jeez.
Don't know. The future is once again uncertain for Aimless Babble Z. Z.
So yeah, check us out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, the website, wherever else we're at and stuff. And you know, if you'd like to fill in for it, but you just let us know, because we've got the space if you've got the time. But yeah, until next episode, will Tekken buy more Steam games on sale? Will he break down and buy any other stuff that he said he wouldn't do 6 months ago? Will Tropical finish a game or surpass Gamer in the trophy wars? Who knows? Find out on the next episode of Aimless, Babble, Z.